Welcome back to Tactical and Practical. Let me give you a warning up top. This episode's going to be incredibly tactical, but I also have not had a Red Bull yet today. So, mixed bag. I could be struggling through it, but the content is worth it. So, please suffer through my uncaffeinated thoughts because this episode's good. This episode's really good. I'm going to talk about how to double your ad spend. I put out a couple tweets about this in the last couple weeks because we just doubled our ad spend in the last 5 weeks and actually improved our AMR while we did it. And something that people ask me all the time, the most common question I get from founders or marketers is like, hey, we cannot seem to increase ad spend without tanking efficiency. What are we doing wrong? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. If you're watching live, I appreciate you dropping a comment in the chat. I can do some Q&A at the end. And if you're not watching live, my DMs are open if you want to ask me any questions. Currently doing a little freelance copywriting if anyone's interested. Hit me up for that. But all right, let's get into how I stair-step our ad spend in order to scale without losing a ton of efficiency. First, I want to bring up a tweet I just tweeted this morning as I was prepping for this podcast. All it takes to double your ad spend is 4 increases of 19%. All it takes to double your ad spend is 4 increases of 19%. So you can do 19% a month and double your ad spend in 4 months. You can do 19% a week and double your ad spend in 4 weeks. But that's all it takes. And breaking it down into those bite-sized, manageable chunks, I think is a big part of what it takes in order to scale without destroying efficiency. I've never really had good luck or good success implementing a 50% spend increase. Certainly not any more than that. I think it's reckless. I think it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because of what's actually happening when we spend more money on ads. And I'd like to talk about this because I think this is a key detail that people look over. Everyone is so interested in what the algorithm is doing, what the Meta ads, Andromeda, Gem, whatever it's called these days, what the algorithm is up to when we tell it to go spend more money. I'm actually wildly uninterested in what the algorithm does. I am way more interested in what's happening to the humans on the other side of our ads. Because I know today when we increase ad spend by 19%, because we're increasing that to our prospecting campaigns, we're going to be reaching 19% more people who have never heard of us. 19% more people who have never heard of our brand are going to hear about us today. And I expect 0 revenue to come in from those people today. And to be honest, for the next few days. Our consideration cycles in e-commerce, I think, are a lot longer than what some of our day one ROAS numbers look like. I think when you're doing real prospecting correctly, and if you've ever surveyed your customers and asked them not just where did you hear about us, but when was the first time you heard about us, you'd be surprised that it was a lot longer ago than you thought. I think I saw a stat that the average consideration cycle for a purchase online is like 78 days or something. And that wasn't even for like anything expensive. So people are watching your ads and seeing your brand and maybe Googling and doing some own research on their own, maybe looking at competitor ads. They are in market. They are top of funnel for you way before they ever click on an ad. So we don't have a way to track them. But if you are prospecting correctly and you increase your budget by 19%, you are reaching 19% more new people who have never heard of you. That is why MER, ROAS, efficiency goes down when you increase ad spend. It's not because the ads forgot how to work. It's because a higher percentage of your ad spend is reaching new people who haven't heard from you. Now, that's bad for day one and that's bad for week one, but that is so good for your business. That is what you need to be able to stack long-term growth over and over again. So the first week I increase ad spend, let's say we do that 19% increase, I expect ROAS and MER to get worse because we just started the consideration cycle for like 1 million new people who have never heard of our brand before. While that's going on, I know that me and my team have to work really hard to optimize our funnel for people who have never heard of us. So my team is working on improving the funnel like crazy because they know no matter what, Nate is spending 19% more money today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day, that it's on us to improve efficiency faster than we're scaling ad spend. So we are testing prices, offers, discounts. We're testing content on the site too, headlines, copy, and images. We're testing different landing page format. We're testing different upsells. We're testing different post-purchase offers. Everything from the top to the bottom of our funnel. We are relentlessly testing as many tests as you can run at the same time without conflicting with each other, because this is the only way we're going to be able to improve performance enough to keep AMR steady while we double our ad spend over the next 4 weeks. So that's what we're working on. And that's week 1. We are running a bunch of tests. We increased ad spend by 19% for one day. Then we left it at that level for the entire week. At the end of that week, we usually have enough data to call some of those tests winners or losers. We set everything live that won, everything that we can, everything that is statistically significant at that point, we set as the rollout to that test. So now on that last day of spending, a little bit more on ads, we have the most dialed in funnel as possible. This is usually where we start to see efficiency bounce back. So if we're usually at like a 2, that first day we increase ad spend by 19%, we might drop down to like a 1.7 return on ad spend. We might drop down to 1.5. And then over the coming week, it'll go from 1.5 to 1.6 to 1.75 to 1.85. And then finally, once we roll out the winners of all our tests, and once a lot of these new people are now seeing our ad for the 7th time in 7 days rather than for the first time, we're usually back at a 2. We're usually back at our baseline efficiency. Because people have now had a week since discovering us, and more of them are starting to buy. And our funnel is more dialed in than ever because of all the tests we did and because of how we rolled out those tests. As soon as we are back at our baseline efficiently, increase ad spend by another 19%. Start the cycle over. As soon as you get back to baseline, start over. Increase ad spend, and then go iterate on all those tests you just ran. If you tested a new offer that crushed, that beat your old offer by a ton, ask yourself why you think it worked. Ask yourself, is there another place in the funnel where we can highlight this offer that we know it increases conversions? Do we want to put it in our ad creative? Do we want to put it on the promo bar on our site? Do we want to put it in the CTA text? I just had a test this week. It's going to be a segment later in the show where I just changed the CTA text to reiterate the offer that's like right above it, and saw a massive increase in conversion rate. So testing is not done after you dialed in your funnel for the first time. There are constant iterations that have to be happening. We increased ad spend by 19%. We start the testing cadence over by iterating on our winning variants from last test, and it happens again. AMR goes down the first day we increase ad spend. The first few days we increase ad spend. But as more consideration cycles start to snowball, and now people from week 1 have been seeing your ads for 14 days, they're really starting to buy now. Efficiency starts to pick up and pick up and pick up. And at the end of that week, we set the new winners from our test. We're usually back at our baseline return on ad spend. We're going to do that just for 2 more weeks because that's all it takes. 4 19% increases to your ad spend, double your ad spend. You can do it in 4 weeks. You can do it in 4 months. You can do it in 8 weeks, whatever you want to do. But all it takes is 19% increases, 4 of them, to double how much you're spending on ads. And if you're doing your job outside of the ad account, if you are dialing in your funnel the entire way by testing everything I'm talking about here, you should unlock the keys to scaling ad spend without destroying your efficiency. Now, let me say, This doesn't always work so perfectly. It's not a guarantee you're going to be back at your baseline after 7 days every time you increase ad spend. So there's a couple different things you can do. You can force more spend anyway, because for me, I'd rather a business that spends 30 grand a day at a 1.8 than a business that spends 15 grand a day at a 2. That's a worth it trade to me, assuming your margins are in check. Or you can simply wait. You can say, you know what, this week, it might be the third week where you increase ad spend by 19%, and efficiency didn't bounce back to a 2. It didn't bounce back to your baseline. Maybe you're hovering at like a 175 for the entire week. You can wait. You can wait another week. You can see what happens. You can do more work on your funnel. You can test more ad creative. You can test more angles, offers, prices, whatever you want to do. There's no one forcing you. I think being in a rush to grow is usually the wrong way to approach it. So if efficiency hasn't quite bounced back to where you want, you can always wait. I usually like to push through and just put an added emphasis on the internal team to get to work on the funnel, because it's our job to improve performance, not Meta's. So that is how I've been able to increase ad spend for a bunch of different brands I've worked with without tanking efficiencies. Do it in these bite-sized, 10 to 20% increments. Don't try to double ad spend this week. Try to do it. I like 19% increases. Do that 4 times while optimizing every layer of your marketing funnel and giving time for humans' natural buying consideration period to develop. And you're going to double your ad spend without losing too much of efficiency. And in the case that we just had, we doubled it in 5 weeks while gaining efficiency, because the internal team at Adapt rips. Shout out to them. All right, that's it for the main topic today. I'm going to get into Tweet of the Week. It's a new segment we started doing a little while ago. And let me just preface this segment, which I have a producer now for the podcast that helps me script all of this out. And he selected this tweet as Tweet of the Week, and it's mine. I thought I had to call that out, because if I just gave myself the Tweet of the Week award, I'd be, the biggest douchebag in e-commerce. But my producer put this in here. He said it hit him super hard. He works in e-com, and he wanted y'all to hear this. So I said, doing less allows you to do it better. Doing it better allows you to get bigger, and getting bigger allows you to do more. This is in response to a lot of e-com marketers' tendency to always want to do more ad creative, more landing pages, more. I don't think that's the right way to grow, because if you aim for quantity, I think it's really hard to turn that into quality later. Whereas if you start with quality, if you start by doing something better and set your standards high, when you scale quantity, it's easier to retain that standard of quality. So doing less allows you to do it better. Doing it better allows you to get bigger, and getting bigger finally allows you to do more. So if you want to do more, if you think your business needs more, try doing less, but better. If you get better, you'll get bigger, and getting bigger will finally allow you to do more. That's Tweet of the Week by me. Kid's pretty smart. You guys should listen to his podcast, Tactical and Practical. It's pretty good. All right, next up, segment brought to you by IntelliGems. I'm revealing the results of a real split test I ran in the last couple of weeks. I mentioned it earlier, but this test was on the CTA text of one of our highest traffic landing pages. And all I did here was I just reiterated the offer that was like literally right above it. People typically don't read a lot, but they read buttons. I've seen this again and again. That CTA button text is so important. So the winning variant used to say, like, just get this product now. Now it says get this product now, and then puts in parentheses and unlock free the gift with purchase thing. That's it. Super simple. Increased conversion rate a ton, increased revenue and profit per visitor a ton. The only reason why these numbers are a little bit lower is because AOV is a little bit lower, but it's because it also increased the subscription rate, which comes with a subscribe and save discount. So that's why AOV was dropped a little bit. But super impactful test, super low lift test. If you have not tested your CTA button text in the last couple of months, and I know you haven't because no one's doing this, go try it out. Instead of add to cart, try saying get yours now. Try saying secure yours today. Try reiterating the offer. Get this now and save X percent or dollars. People miss a lot of what is on the landing page, but they are going to read the button that they click on. So put any relevant information that is going to increase conversions on that button. You can thank me later. All right, next segment here. We got a tactical tip, and this one's a simple one, but I see this not being done a lot. Resend emails to people who don't open them. Resend email campaigns and flows to people who do not open them. That's like super obvious, especially if it's an email that ripped. Just send it again. New subject lines, send it again. I do this on campaigns all the time, and I think it's something that you should build into your flows too. When I build a flow from scratch, every single email comes with a branching decision tree of like, did someone open this within 24 hours? If not, send it again. New subject lines, but send it again, and then move them through the flow. Most people are not going to open your emails, even if you have fantastic email open rates. Those are getting inflated anyway. Those are hard to confirm. Send it again to anyone who didn't open it. I promise you, it won't make $0. It'll make more dollars than zero, and it'll almost guaranteed make more dollars than it cost you to send the email. So tactical tip of the week, send emails again to non-openers. Last segment here is Marketers Anonymous. If you guys have missed it, I answer an anonymous question from a marketer in our space every single week. So if there's something you're scared to ask publicly, if you're something you don't want to ask because it'd make your boss look bad or your company look bad, or it would start a fight that you don't want to start, you can do that through me. I don't care. But this question is a really good one. It says, what would you do if our best-selling product that has been carrying the business is starting to plateau? Ooh, this is a good one. I might go for 20 minutes on this one. What to do when your top selling product that's been carrying the business is starting to plateau. All right, couple things right away. And I know this person works in marketing. They're not the founder. They're not the ops guy. They're not the product guy. So I'm going to give you very, very specific instructions because I have been here. Number one, tell your founder to go make more new products. Caveat to this, your founder's not going to like this. Your founder is going to give you pushback and tell you, no, that one product works, go sell more of it. And you're going to say, yeah, that's steps like 2 through 10. That's my job. But what you can do to help me in my job is go make more products that resonate with people as well as our top dog did. Go try to dethrone it. It might be making a more luxurious, higher end version of it. It might be just a new colorway. It might be something that has a new function. Whatever it is, go tell your founder, whoever your head of product dev is, go make more new products because the marketing that we used to do for this one isn't performing as well as it used to. And while I go work on that, and while I go and try to improve and bring this back from plateauing a bit and get it growing again, I'm going to go work on that. I need you to go fill the product pipeline up with more bangers that are our attempt to dethrone the top dog. Step one. Step two, go figure out where in this funnel the drop-offs are to happen. Are you seeing a worse click-through rate on ads? Are you seeing a worse conversion rate on the page? More often than not, when something's been a top dog, it can almost get forgotten. And some of the things that you've been working on might have been trying to bring back like struggling products to life, and you've left the top dog on cruise control. When was the last time you tried those tactics on the top dog? Go test your prices again. Go test your offers again. If you haven't tested those things in more than a quarter, they're out of date. The price that worked in Q4 is probably not the same price that's going to work in Q1. I've seen prices and offers fluctuate with seasons, fluctuate with presidents, fluctuate with macroeconomic events. So don't forget to go back to the basics on a top dog. I would immediately get a new, more diverse style of content that you haven't tried for it. If something's been a top dog for a while, I bet you guys have gotten into a pattern of how you advertise it, how you talk about it, how you do video shoots of it. I would really press hard on like, hey, let's pretend we're starting from scratch and launching this product again. What would you do? Well, you test your prices, you test how you talk about it, you test your offer, you'd get a bunch of different content from a diverse selection of creators, so you can ensure that you're throwing everything you can at it. You test different landing page formats, you test different landing page content, you test complementary products as upsells, pre and post purchase. And I just can almost guarantee if this product has been a top dog for your business for a long time, you haven't been doing that. So what to do when your best-selling product starts to plateau? Go tell the founder to make way more product and then get back to work on the basics for that top-selling product funnel. Start optimizing everything top to bottom. A lot of times these things just get stuck on cruise control, and you need to strip it all away. And I don't say strip it all away, like stop everything you're doing, because a plateau is still working in my mind. But go into a new brainstorming session with the team where you're like, hey, we essentially need to relaunch this. Let's make it more exciting. Let's communicate it differently. Let's shoot it differently. And I can almost guarantee that product starts to grow again. All right. That is an episode of Tactical and Practical. The one live question I got, raw and no fluff. Kudos, Nate. Thanks, Rajesh. Rashish. Thank you for the comment. I agree. This was a banger episode. Yeah, I'm really pumped with this. Go do this stuff. It'll make you more money, I promise. Thanks so much for listening to Tactical and Practical. I will see you next week.